it's me, earthmanbrick, and we're back with more orkiness. So I've got this little frame built. Now, these parts came from, I think it's, the Junk Bots plastic kits. And what I've done is I've just ripped apart, I've secured these bits in place with card, and this is an old bamboo skewer. Rather than use more of these plastic bits, I've just used up that. And you can see here I've gone and drilled and pinned some wire into what would be his legs, and those will be able to just screw into the face there. I'll just drill some holes and forge them in. And you can see there we've already got a part for his head, which we can easily make out of, I don't know, some rolled up tin foil here. You can chop off a bit of that. In fact, the more you cut tin foil with scissors, the better it sharpens them. So that's a good little trick. And we'll go and stick on a head there. But more importantly, this isn't just about this build, it's also about recycling or upcycling. I don't know what the difference is, but whatever, who cares? Sounds cool. So what I've been doing is I've been hacking apart all the projects and stuff, getting out bits like these plastic straws that are already pre-painted and things. Just the old builds and things that I never properly finished. Like I had this head sculpt here. This was going to be one of the speed freaks. I forget the name of the faction. The one where it's like red ones go faster. I was going to have this as a head, and I thought, yeah, that's pretty cool as a head, but I wasn't so keen on the body. I thought, So I just hacked it apart and I had made up these little arm bits. You can see there, it's just a cocktail stick and skewered into an old bit of plastic straw there. Which was originally a Q-tip, or as we call them over here, cotton swabs, back when they were plastic. And they're all made of paper and card now, which is terrible because you don't end up with the hollow bit. It's all just kind of solid, like an old kind of lollipop type thing. But anyway, I digress. So, I'm going to be hacking apart some old builds that I've done, like this one here. This was an original Death Dread, but you can see here the top half of the body's kind of a bit slack there, and he's way too big for the base. This base I could probably repurpose if I just pop it off. Yeah, there's bits there I can generally repurpose. That's probably a good enough boot for this new guy I'll be making. This new guy is just going to be a killer can. This is like the next size up, which is a Death Dread. And the thing is, with this one that I made it so that the arms can come out. So I can detach all these bits, no problem, and repurpose them on other things without delay. And these are just, again, it's those old plastic cotton swabs and bits of, what would you call it? It's like the cables and stuff. You can slice that up and put that on, and it makes a nice little Gatling style shooter. Very simple, very effective. Yeah, you can see there's the saw blades. Got a separate video on how to make those. Very easy, very cheap. There we go, there's another one. Yeah, this one's not that great. I think what works better whenever you're doing these things is, rather than have it sticking out like that, which doesn't look very decent, ultimately what you want is something more dynamic. So you want to create that sense of movement and stuff. So you want to have it so that it's bending in on itself, so it looks like it could spring forward at any second, and that creates a more kind of pleasurable aesthetic. But right now we're just going to keep smashing this up and getting the good bits. So this whole head here, it's a bit flat, it's unanimated, it looks nice. Probably better off as a banner, so we can snap this off. I'm just going to use brute force. There we go. That came off no problem. And you can see there we've used no plastic sprue frame for that. And that's going to work well for an orc banner boy. Very nice. Very simple. And you can see here these shoulder pads came off no problem. Well, that one did. This one, yep, that's fine enough. And these can be repurposed and put on this guy without too much of a problem. and it'll look a lot more nifty than the smaller guy. The rest of the body here, I don't know, it's a bit of a write-off. This boot, see if we can save that. Probably most of this leg, if I just break it like a wishbone. Yeah, parts of that we can probably assemble and repurpose. Again, having that whole kind of, double hinge and stuff there, I think that kind of works. That looks a lot more dynamic, like a lot more intimidating, especially the big claw bits. We'll keep that for the feet. But yeah, there's something going on there. It's good gubbins. That's what we're taking from this build. It's just the gubbins. So we've got some nice big cog bits there. Yeah, we can repurpose that. Take the cogs for this bit as well. Just pop that apart. This whole bit in the middle, I don't really see me doing anything with that. But yep, certainly the boot, you take that off. You just brute force it. So it's come apart a bit there, but that's fine. Got enough of a foot there with the toes, and yeah, that'll work well enough for this guy. You pop that on. We'll figure it out. And yeah, definitely something interesting going on there. I don't think the cog suits it anymore. We'll take that off. And we can repurpose that. We can even have it on a... I don't know. Figure that out later. So that's all the bits we want to keep. All up there. These bits, I don't know. I don't think this is worth keeping. Maybe this Orky panel here. It looks like a boot stomper type thing. Yep, and that's on an old hex nut. So you can easily glue that in. It's a nice filler piece. And we've got a bit here that we could potentially repurpose. Or maybe keep these smokestacks, the ones on the back. There we go. So that's all those bits all kept, and we can cannibalize these for a future build. I'm just going to pop them in this one here. And the idea is, this is where I've got all my speakers and stuff, so you can see there. Speakers. All here, and I imagine like with all these speakers and stuff and all these pipes, we'll be able to make like a snaz boom wagon or whatever the freak it's called. And in here I've got a whole bunch of more nebulous bits that are probably better off on Orky style, bigger builds and Orky style buildings and things. We've got some old shooters and stuff in here that are all ready to be repurposed. I can probably break these bits down more, but until I know what I'm going to be using them for, I'm just going to keep them as is. So I'll pop these shooters in here, pop the cogs in, and the rest of the bits I might use for a different build. But we're going to be using the feet on this one, I've decided. Might change my mind. As is our prerogative. And I'll keep these shoulder pads in. They seem relatively universal. That's if I can get them to fit. Good enough. Now, I've also got this guy that I'm going to hack apart. So these bits, not so useful. I'm going to keep this in a separate kind of potential trash pile, which I'll put in this old bit of tin foil here. Maybe salvage that wire. There's some interesting bits on here. Yeah, if I need to bulk out a build, that's probably a good bit to stick on. I'll keep that. The rest of these bits, the wire I'll maybe keep. This one, now, this banner pole, it's solid. Keeping that. That's pretty cool. And again, you can see the problem here. The main one is the base, and he doesn't quite suit well with the others. So these spiky bits, they're definitely worth keeping. So yeah, the whole act of this is just an act of cannibalizing, which is what orcs would do. Is if one of their guys fell in battle, they'd quickly pick up all the bits and stuff and use them for other projects and things. That's pretty cool. Nice set of cannons there. Nice sort of printed patterns and stuff as well. That's a definite keeper. This claw arm, it looks shit. It's proper crap. But those painted on symbols, they look okay. I'm gonna salvage that bit, because it looks alright. It even has nice little rivets on the corner. Solid little bit. We've got this nice big shoulder pad that's filled with panels. I'm gonna try and delicately take that apart. There we go. Grab off bits of the claw. So now we've got that big bit. And I might try and take that apart further, but not right now. You can see we've got this nice looking hingy bit. That looks alright. The rest of the claw, it's right off, more or less. Unless I can... Yeah, this bit with the jaggies on it, I think that's worth keeping. Take off the other bits. That's all potentially trash. Although, yeah, the jaggies look alright. This bit, it can go in the bin. Keep the jaggies. So yeah, a lot of proper nice looking orky spikes. And another potential panel right there. The rest of this build, how's it looking? Well, we've got some panels here on the knees. I can just have at it. Bust it apart. You can see how well this would have been kept together once upon a time. So there's some nice looking orc panels. Definitely worth salvaging. Yeah, pop these ones off as well. Yeah, that's good. There we go. Solid little panels that we can definitely, absolutely reuse. Got some interesting bits here and there. See if I can salvage it. Yeah. Take that bit off. What else we got? See if I can take this bit. Nope. That's a bit of a write-off. Looks like these legs aren't worth much at all. They're not gonna be salvageable. This big banner, it might be worth saving. Got some spiky bits here. There we go. And we've got this nice big looking light thing. There we go, that could potentially go in a vehicle. Yep, that's a write-off. And yeah, some more panels kicking about on the shoulder bits. If I can get them. Yep, that'll work. Not a whole lot of logic or reason in this, just if you like it and you want it, you keep it, the rest you just lob and throw away. I'm just going to use some scissors here, chop off the excess. Yeah, that's a nice chunky panel. That part we're keeping. And so we've probably got enough bits here That's a good series of panels. And that's not. And we've got some half barrels here on the back. Let's see if we can salvage those. Bit of wire there. Nope. Looks like they're well and truly kicked on. Let's see if I can smash this apart enough. Are we gonna get this spanner? We got it. Success! I love it. And that's a good enough panel. Good wire. And that's a good enough panel. Right there. So we've got oodles of panels. We've got some thrown away bits. Not worth keeping the space. It's just made of card anyway. It's not worth keeping. Is it worth keeping this bits for the heat? And probably not. Just chuck it. So all this will go in the bin, except from the tin foil. We'll be keeping that. It's good for bulking our projects. But look at all the gubbins we've got. So we've got all this gubbins, all recyclable here, that we can use to make up one or more projects. I think that's half the battle, is having the bravery to smash apart an old project to make a new one. Because I think I need to do that in order to save space. Because I've got more than enough molds to make other projects. Like I've got molds to make toilets and things. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to get to putzing about with this. I'll be back soon once I've thrown something together, and I'll explain a bit more. So bye for now, see you again soon. Hello there, we're back, and this is what we've got so far. So I decided, rather than make another killer can or whatnot, I've decided to make one of these. Now, let me just click it on. So this is the new Warhammer unit for the orcs. It's called a Dakka rig. And as you can see, it's got a massive shooter right on the top there. It does have a guy that's piloting the thing, little banner. And it's basically a biped, sort of like heavy unit. Pretty cool. Pretty interesting. There's another picture of it here. And you can see, yeah, it lines in perfectly well with the orc army. So we decided to make one of those. So I thought I'd start off with a quick sketch. I know it's basic bitch, but this was the formulation for what I was going to do. And this is what we got. So I've gone and faffed around and made this up. And as you can see, it's got a nice big turret there. And I've just used 4 plastic straws and just sort of bundled those together, wrapped around some card, which was hole punched with one of these. This is like a leather rotary hole punch. Really cool tool. Highly recommend. And yeah, again, this isn't going to win awards or anything, this one. But it's just to show you these processes, because if you've got the time and energy, you can sort of spend a lot more time making it up. So what I've gone and done here is I've used the old Kinder egg shell technique. So the Kinder eggs, it's like a German brand. Got a box of it here somewhere. This is it here, Kinder Surprise. You get 3 chocolate eggs, and they have these sort of little containers that you can just pop open and close. Very simple stuff, and I've just taken, torn off that little bit. It comes off very easily, and this is from a hand soap pump dispenser, and then I've gone and thrown in some tin foil and then hot glued it in place. And that's what we've done with this one here. You can see it's the exact same process, and I've just gone and drilled and pinned some wire in there. And all this is all panels and stuff that we've made before, and that's just a bit of foam there, so you can just slot in and it can rotate. I think I'm going to hot glue it into place so it's a nice dynamic position like that. I think that works. Again, more straws all here. I think that works very well. You've got the wire and I've drilled and pinned. This was a bit more of a painstaking process to make these legs, because these are just, it's cotton swabs with the ends cut off, and then old bits of bamboo skewer. Again, just drilled and pinned, and then that's a spring from the hand soap pump dispenser. Got a couple there. And yeah, I think it generally works. The only thing that we really need to do now is just paint it all up. That was from an old MDF kit. I've just thrown that on. Some old panels and stuff that we've made. Orc banners, which I've got separate videos on as well. And if you want to see more about how you can use these to make grot tanks, I've got separate videos on those too. And that's all plastic cables, a mixture of plastic cables and straws. Bit of a electrical cable there as well. So I'm just going to paint this up. I'm going to try and aim for Death Skull's sort of colour scheme. But yeah, bye for now. See you again soon. Hello again, and we're back. And here it is, all done and dusted. We've gone with that Death Skull's colour scheme, and I think it generally works. It's a very slap-chop job. Literally just slapped on the paint, and that's it. Calling it. And we're just going to compare it against a few other Death Skulls that we've done, so we can see how it well blends in. Yep, that works. So that's our Megadeth Dread there. These big guns and big saw blades and stuff. We've also got here, this was our Mega Grot Tank here. So that's all Death Skull's colour. Yeah, it sort of blends in there. You could maybe do with a few more rusty colours. I might add those in later. This we also have here. This is our Dreadnought. Yep, that works. Again, simple colour schemes often work the best. And there's one of our killer cans there. So yeah, I think it works. This is our absolute shoestring budget. Mega, no, was it a Dakka rig? Dakka rig. What a stupid bloody name. It's basically just a heavy walker unit. It's and yeah, I'm happy with it. But yeah, that's all I've got for you today. So thanks again for watching, and